In this question, we were given a counter of this kind and we were asked to find out whether this is an up counter or down counter basing on the value of x. Okay. So here we have a XOR gate. So first of all we will see the truth table of an XOR gate. Okay. So if one of the inputs to this XOR gate is 0, okay, whenever one of the input is 0, then the output is nothing but the other input. Okay. Here A is 0, so A XOR B is nothing but B when one of the input is 0. Here also whenever I make x 0, okay, whenever I make x as 0, then output is nothing but T1 is nothing but output will be nothing but the other input which is Q0. So whenever x is equal to 0, T1 is equal to Q0. I will just do that. Here I assumed that this is an x equal to 0 case. Whenever x is equal to 0, output which is A XOR B will be nothing but B, that is the other input, which is in this case Q0, implies T1 is equal to Q0. This is one of the case. Now here whenever one of the input is 1, then the output is the inverse of the other input. So whenever x is equal to 1, in that case T1, now it is not Q0, it is Q0 bar. Okay. In this case T1 is equal to Q0 bar. The other input is Q0 and we have to inverse the Q0. So I will replace this one, that is x equal to 1 case, like this. Okay. T1 now is nothing but Q0 bar whenever x is equal to 1. That side it is x equal to 1 case, here it is x equal to 0 case. Whenever x is equal to 0, T1 is equal to Q0, and whenever x is equal to 1, T1 is equal to Q0 bar. Okay. So we will just draw the truth table. So present state and inputs, that is T1 and T0, and the next state, that is Q1 and Q0. Here also we will take Q1, Q0. Initially we will assume the initial case is 0 0 and T0 anyway is 1, T0 is clamped to 1, so 1 1 1 1. So whenever present state is Q1 Q0, then since T1 is equal to Q0, T1 will be 0, and basing on the inputs, now we have the input to T0 as 1, so output will toggle obviously. So Q0 will toggle from 0 to 1, and since T1 is 0, Q1 will not toggle, it will remain in the previous state which is 0. Okay. So now my present state is 0 1, I will make it as 0 1. When my present state, that is the next state of the counter, is 0 1, so whenever counter is in state and a clock is given, so since T1 is equal to Q0, T1 will be 1, so here both will toggle, so 0 1 will become 1 0. So now my present state is 1 0, so present state is 1 0 and T1 is equal to Q0, which is 0 here. So basing on this, Q0 will toggle and Q1 will not toggle. So since Q0 toggles, it will become 1 and Q1 will not toggle, so it will remain in one state. So now my present state will become 1 1. So now since T1 is again equal to Q0, which is 1, both will toggle. Since we have 1 1 here, both the inputs are 1, so both the states will toggle to from 1 1 to 0 0. Again we have reached the initial state. Okay. So as you can see, whenever x is equal to 0, this is a up counter from 0 0 to 0 1 to 1 0 to 1 1, so it is a up counter. So whenever x is equal to 0, it implies it is a up counter. Okay. We will do the same analysis for the next one. Here again we will make present state T1 and T0 and next state Q1 Q0. Okay, so here also Q1 Q0, and as I already told you, T0 is always 1, it was clamped to 1, and present state will assume as 0 0, initially present state will assume as 0 0, and you know T1 is nothing but the invert of Q0. Now since Q0 is 0, T1 will be 1 here, since T1 is equal to Q0 bar. So from this both the inputs are 1, so both the states will toggle from 0 0 to 1 1. Now my next state is 1 1. So since 1 1, T1 is invert of Q0, which is 0. Here you can see T0 is 1 and T1 is 0. So Q0 toggles but not Q1, so it will remain 0 1, sorry, okay. The inputs are 1 0 1, so this guy will toggle 0, this guy will not toggle 1, okay. So the next state is 1 0, and T1 is the inverse of Q0. Now Q0 is 0, so inverse of Q0 is 1. So here you can see again both the inputs are 1, so both will invert from 1 0 to 0 1. Now your next state is 0 1. Since Q0 is 1, sorry, yes, Q0 is 1, so T1 will be inverse of 1, which is 0. So 0 1, this guy will not toggle, Q1 will not toggle, whereas Q0 will toggle, okay. So 0 1 2, 0 0, this guy toggled but not this guy, okay. So as you can see here 1 1 to 1 0 to 0 1 to again 0, okay, we have reached the original state again. So this is a down counter. So whenever x is equal to 1, it implies it is a down counter. So basing on the options, it says option A says up counter when x equal to 0, which is right, down counter when x equal to 0, which is not right, whereas up counter, C option is up counter when x equal to 1, no, and always up counter, even that is not true. So the right option is A, that is up counter when x equal to 0.